Good morning, sewers, or afternoon, or evening, whatever time you're watching this. This is Robbie from Save Stores, and we are going to be doing a giveaway on this video. And I'm going to teach you guys how to clean, maintain, and do some basic stuff on your sewing machines, whether you've had them for a while or they're brand new to you. So watch and learn. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to show you guys some neat products. We've got some huge sales going on right now. So tomorrow, I'm going to do the drawing, but you have today and until 11:50-ish tomorrow to enter the drawing. And what am I giving away? Oh, awesome, you should ask. But we have, some tools. And I'm going to demonstrate how to use these. I've kind of taken some of them out because I pre-assembled them for you guys. But I'm going to be giving away this tool set. They retail $19.99, and they're a great addition. Could have been an awesome stocking stuffer, but hey, we could have New Year's stockings too, huh? That would be awesome. So we can come in here, teach you guys how to use this, clean, oil, maintain your machines. Some of them you don't oil, some of them you do. We'll cover that. So with that, we're going to get going. So we have here, this is what I would call maybe the old style or traditional style machine. It's a front load where you put the bobbin in the front. So these guys are so creative. Front load, top load, like all the same thing. Just so you look at where you're put your bobbin in, if it's on top or in the front. And that's the part of the video you're going to want to watch. And try not to mix them because these you do oil. And I'm going to show you guys where to oil those. These you do not oil. No oil. No, no, no. Yes, they like oil. Oil's good. So, very easy to do. I'm going to walk you guys through simple, easy tools that you're going to need. I've got our beeswax cleaner. This stuff is awesome. It leaves no residue. It's got a nice slick finish. So some of you use like those Teflon mats and stuff for you quilters. This obviously doesn't have Teflon in it. It's actually made out of beeswax. So some of you guys use that chapstick stuff. Not chapstick in here, but probably wouldn't need it either. But great polish, works really, really good. Doesn't leave any buildup, and that's very important because nobody wants a yellow sewing machine. So unless you bought it yellow, and then I guess you might. But these are white, so we're going to keep them white. So got a special deal on these. These are awesome. Whole can goes a long way, and I will tell you, these clean window glass like none other. Like, it's amazing. I have kids, dog. It, like, wipe a window down, and it's, like, clean. And it resists fingerprints, too, which, like, totally blew my mind. But this, a microfiber cloth that's clean. Very easy. I use another just dish towel that's just, we can get dirty. So this is clean. This is dirty. Oil for these guys. Not for these guys. Some Q-tips. Fresh needles. And I recommend either Schmetz or Class A. Or Floriani, which are Schmetz. They're chrome though, which is nice. Maybe I'll do a quick talk because not everyone knows about needles. Needles have a couple key parts. The most critical part that you need to know of is there's a flat. So up here on the top, most home sewing needles, in fact, all of them today, for the home machines, have a flat on them. And in most cases, that flat is going to go to the back. The only exception is going to be a straight stitch model, some of those, and the flat's going to go to the right. Or if you have an old featherweight, it's going to go to the left. And those thread inside out, most thread that way, but almost all machines thread front to back. So that flat makes sure that that eye of the needle here stays in the same spot. Really easy trick. Also, there's a groove on the front of a needle. It's kind of hard to see, but you can feel it with your nail. If you get it in there, that protects the thread as it goes through the fabric, and then the eye, and then the tip. So when you buy a different needle, there's two things that change. Well, three, I guess. Is going to be the thickness of the shaft, and that's going to be done in two different numbers. One's metric, one's US, but it's like a 75-11, an 80-12, a 110-16. That number is telling you how thick this is. Now, with different types of needles, like a metallic or a top stitch, that eye actually gets bigger. So as you go bigger with the needle, that needle number, the eye does get bigger, but with like a top stitch needle, that eye is actually the size, if the needle was like 2 sizes bigger, 1 or 2 sizes, to get thicker threads through there without having to have this jumbo eye. But the side of that metal where that eye is a little thinner. So it might be a little weaker. So just kind of bear that in mind. And then finally is the tip. So when you buy a ballpoint, a leather, a jeans, that's just changing this little point. They're not made out of different metal. There's nothing special about them. It's the tip. So just some little needle knowledge for you guys to know, which is always handy. But with that, we're going to jump in and start cleaning this off. So first thing I like to do is to take off my presser foot and the needle. And this way we're starting over fresh every single time. And one of the things that I love about Berninas, and this is a Bernina, this is actually a 480 special edition. I don't know if you can see this, it's really pretty. These are on a special deal. They're coming with free luggage. We got a special promotion right now in the Bernina 480. But I want to show you something that makes these so cool. First off, right here it says Jumbo Bobbin, 70% more capacity, and I want to show you what that's all about. So we can open it up with our little push button here. I can take my needle plate off and we can start cleaning. So the first thing I like to do is to get a Q-tip and just kind of run around in here and try and get as much of this stuff in here out. Get it loosened up. And just kind of jam it in there. Lint likes to get all kinds of places. And you can see all this that we've gotten out of a relatively clean machine. Now these, the front's going to open up and everything's going to pop out. And a lot of these can be somewhat intimidating. Our bobbin can pop out. And oh, that's what they were talking about. Oh, look at that. 70% bigger bobbin. No kidding. That thing is massive. I'm going to put that aside. And then we can do the same thing in here. Use the other end of the Q-tip, fresh side. And we can get in here and we can clean all of this out down in here. Get it all cleaned out. Looking pretty. Looking so fresh and clean. Get her all cleaned out. Get this out. And then I'm going to show you what we're oiling on these guys. So some of these have a 2-part. This is a single part where it all pops out. And this one's nice because it does have a magnet in there to help hold it. And I'll show that here in a second. But when you're in here with the 2-part, there's going to be like a half moon under there. And this piece here is going to be like another half moon. So you just need to make them make like a full circle. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. But with this one, it's already a circle. So you don't have to worry about that. What you're oiling is this piece here. So this is called your hook. And this is the part that grabs the thread, the really sharp point. It should be nice and smooth. There should be no burrs on it, but it should be sharp. But it should be smooth, nothing dragging on you. But this is the part that needs to be oiled, this ridge. And I see people like putting oil like way down here in the bottom. They're putting oil everywhere. It doesn't need to go there. So the easiest way to do this, I found, is to put this in. And then all we do, and this one's magnetic, it holds it right up in there for you. To get it in the right spot here. Look at Robbie. Camera shy, huh? Pops right in there and it's magnetic, so it stays in there. Now, if you can get in here, Bailey, I'm going to kind of swap sides with you here real quick. And if you get up in here, I'm going to spin the little hand wheel here, and you can see that guy moving. That is where you're going to want to put your drop of oil. So all I'm going to do is spin it to make sure I got the right part. And then I'm just going to put a drop of oil right there. And I love using these oilers. They have a really fine tip. So a lot of them, it's hard to get in there because this part is so short anyways. But then the hole is so big that the drop of oil that comes out is massive. So I love this. They're super handy. We sell them here and we refill them. So don't throw these away. We will refill it for you to keep it going. But we can see here now, spin it around, and it just literally oiled that whole area. So I don't really have to take this all apart to oil the machine. But now I'm going to use that vacuum tool. So I'm going to get in here and I'm going to hook this up. And we have these Riccar vacuums. And what's actually really cool about this guy It's got a shoulder strap so you can walk around. It blows, so if you actually hook the hose up to the back, it'll blow to fill up like an air mattress. But I recommend vacuuming out, and these are those tools, which are really cool. Turn this here. Woo! Doing all kinds of moves here. But I can jump in here, and I'm going to talk and then vacuum and then talk. So I can get in there, and I can suck this out. There's a whole bunch of different tools in here to use. But the problem with air, especially compressed air, is a lot of times you'll point and you'll just squirt it. If you spray it on your hand, there's water. And it's not water, it's something else. But that propellant that's in there is getting on the metal parts in there. And that's just not good to get moisture on metal. For first. The other thing is, these machines are designed to kind of trap the lint and stuff in here as much as possible. You know, they're made to be in lint, be kind of like building a boat that doesn't float. Like that's called a submarine, you know, not a boat. But with something like this, you've got it where it tries to keep it in. When you use compressed air, it blasts the lint into places that we don't want it. So we're gonna come in here, we're gonna clean this out. And that easy, we're done. So now I can pop this, put our bobbin back in, and I want to show you guys one other trick here on the bobbin. We can come in. Inside here, the bobbin, you might get a little bit of lint. Be careful, this little spring in here, this is called a bobbin stop spring. It can pop out, so you don't want to like just jump in there and start rubbing. If it pops out, it pops right back in, no big deal. But I like to take, and here's a post-it note, and I'm going to demonstrate it one way because I don't want you to use the glue side. I don't think I should have to mention that, but you never know. So here's some post-it notes. We're going to take, and we're going to floss it. So if we come in here, you can see where our little thing meets, and we're going to run it in the middle there. Can you see that, Bailey? Mm-hmm. And try and get whatever lint or anything is in there. This one's super clean because it's a brand new machine. And we can take our thread, put her up in. Some of these new machines have awesome tools where I can push this in here and then I can cut my thread, put it up. Remember, our needles are flat to the back. I'll put my needle plate on here. Put my needle in. Flat to the back, and then put my foot on, and that easy. And that's something that's really cool with these Berninas too. And this one is a 9mm machine. The feet, they're solid feet, and they pop right on. We got a special price on this one. We're trying to finish off the this 2020 on a really good note and start 2021 with a bang. So we're open today and tomorrow. So we've got special prices, special deals. Just today and tomorrow, we're doing special financing up to 72 months. 72 months. So literally, if you ever thought any of these machines were unaffordable, come on in right now. Lowest prices you'll ever see. Best prices ever. Huge deals. This is the other type. It's called a top drop, and because the bobbin goes in on top. These are a little easier. We do not use oil, which is nice. And I'm going to come over here, and we're going to do a lot of the same stuff. I'm going to take our little free arm cover off here, which is nice. I'm going to take my presser foot off, and I'm going to take my needle out. The needle container there. I'm going to take my needle plate off. The manual says to turn the machine off. Obviously, best practice. We'll do that, but I need lighting here so you guys can see what I'm doing. I don't have a foot pedal plugged in, so there's no way for me to make it run and accidentally sew through myself. But if you noticed on these, I took my needle out first. This does two things for me. It makes sure that I put a new needle in after cleaning, because a lot of times we wind up cleaning our machine because maybe something's not quite working right. So we go through and we clean everything, but we didn't change the needle. So then we go and sew again, and now it sounds better, but it's still messing up. So one of the easiest things to do is to change that needle. And a lot of times people keep them in too long, and they're fine until they're not. And I always tell people, you can have a brand new car, drive it off the lot into a light pole. It's now wrecked. It's still a brand new car, but it's not straight anymore. That's the same thing that can happen with a needle. The first seam you hit, if you're not doing stuff right, it can kind of bend that needle a little bit, and then you've got problems from there on out. The only thing you have to do is change that needle, stop all the frustration, but you know, a lot of times you're thinking, I just put that needle in. It can't be the needle. So just kind of remember that. So now we've got a couple parts in here. So remember, we had our bobbin case, our hook. This one has one part that pops out, but the hook doesn't. So it's going to stay inside there. So this is called the hook. And if I turn it, we can get that same little point. So this right here is that little hook tip. That's that same little sharp part that was in there. But we don't need to oil this because this isn't metal on metal. It's metal on nylon. So very, very easy. So what we're going to do here, we're going to get a fresh Q-tip, and we're going to run around in here and try and clean this off. In a few of these machines, the embroidery models, if we turn this, you'll see a little sensor that's right over here. If you turn it where this gap is, I don't know if you can, let me turn it back. There's a gap in this whole ring. It's solid all the way around until you get to this spot. Mm-hmm. If we line it up here, there'll be a little sensor in there that you can gently wipe off and get the lint off, and then you can turn it around to the other side and do the same thing over here. Now these ones, you're going to want to use a screwdriver to take the needle plate off, but this time I'm not going to take the plate off. There's just some teeth in there to clean out. This is the scissor mechanism on this one. If you did want to clean the scissors if it wasn't cutting, you would take the needle plate off. But with these, it's not important that you take the needle plate off every time. If you do take this off, do not put this in first. Put this, no, not first. Put this on first, then this, then this. So I've got this all kind of loosened up in here. I'm going to take my vacuum cleaner, do the same thing. Suck it out. So now we're going to put this back in. So if you can come up here, Bailey. This has a little arrow on it. A white arrow. Some brands have a yellow arrow, a red arrow, but there's some kind of marking here. And there's a little dot here. And I always ask brother, why don't you do an arrow to an arrow? But apparently a dot is easier to cut in metal. So I said, well, then why don't you do a dot there? And they said, well, we already have the triangle. So I guess that's why they do it. So this should kind of wobble back and forth. It should have a little bit of movement in there when you put it in. And then you're going to drop this guy on and slide her forward. So super easy. I dropped my bobbin on the floor, so I'm not going to go get that one. But pop her on, out we go. Oh, reminds me, good thing I didn't put my bobbin in yet. Same thing we did over here. So if you're ever getting some weird tensions, you can take our little paper here, and we can floss it in between. And if you look, get it in the right spot here, little ridge there. If you can see inside of there, you can try and see that, and you can flip out. This one's clean, but sometimes you'll get a little piece of, it looks like cotton. It's actually lint that's just kind of impacted, maybe even looks like paper that pops out. And that, what happens is, as that builds up in there, instead of the little tension in there squeezing on your bobbin thread, it's actually squeezing on that paper. So your tension gets lighter and lighter. And with these, you shouldn't ever have to touch. These are actually painted. And they're painted so they're calibrated at the factory, so you shouldn't have to touch them. So we're going to pop this back together. Voila. Put our foot back in. Put our needle back in. And then I want to show you, let me put my foot on here. Put our needle in. Remember, flat to the back. Flat to the back. Pop her in there. And then I want to show you guys my needle thread. Because this is awesome. And these machines, I will mention, they're on sale. Oops, I'm sorry. They're on sale. So we're going to come down here. Come up to our little activator. And then ready? Nothing in. Something in. Look at that. It's threaded. I can do that again. I can do that again. So all we do is we take our thread out, put her up, cut it. Ready? Done. So cool. How cool is that? So this is a brother pace setter. This is a Bernina. We also have Baby Lock and Janome. So I want to tell you guys, we have super deals right now. I'm giving away this exact one. So it's been tested, so I know it works. It's exactly what you want. It's already set up. 20 bucks. We've got our cleaner. These machines, oh, I forgot to mention, they make a special edition machine that right now, you could actually get this for free. What? I know. Give us a call. We can find out, get you guys all the details. We're taking trades. Remember, that's 72-month financing on some of our machines. Huge deals right now. We just got stock in, which is great so that you guys aren't getting like what's left. You get the pick of the best. So give us a call, 503-775-7283, or you can reach out to us at savestores.com, or you can PM us right at the bottom, leave a comment, ask questions. If you want me to go over anything on these, I'll be happy to help you guys out. We're here to help you out. Social distancing, staying safe, wear your mask, and stay safe. Have fun sewing.